KP passing the basketball, like that is like amazing. Like, it's mind-blowing to me.
What is up, guys? We are back with another film breakdown. Been a little while since I've done one of these, but excited. Been watching a ton of WNBA since the college season wrapped up. And obviously the most exciting team to watch, without a doubt, has been the Las Vegas Aces. Before we dive right into Kelsey Plum, I would be remiss if I did not at least mention that Becky Hammon is off to the best start of any rookie coach in the WNBA at 9-2, just taking over for Bill Laimbeer last year, where the Aces still had a ton of success. I know that they're off to a hot start now, but they had a good year last year, but they just look different. They look faster. They look like they're enjoying themselves more out on the floor, playing more freely within structure and getting up a ton of threes. The first thing I want to note is look at the spacing difference between last year's Aces team and this year's Aces team. This is a standstill clip. You're going to see there's so fewer bodies in the lane this season than there were last season. There's more space to drive, more space to create for others, and more space to generate three-point shots off of those driving kicks, which Kelsey Plum is so good at. And we're going to start right there with her ability to drive and create for others, averaging 6 assists per game this season, the most of her career, and she is leading the WNBA.
What's made her really hard to guard this year is her willingness to pass. She's tops in the league in assists and scoring. It's hard to do. So when she's such a willing passer like that, it's a pick your poison type of scenario. And so far, she's making defenses pay with her passing, not just her scoring.
All right, for these first few clips, we're going to start in transition. The Vegas Aces have been deadly when they play with pace. Kelsey Plum has done a great job getting the ball up the floor, whether it be on the pass early or on the dribble by penetrating and finding open teammates. You saw in the first clip, she lobbed the ball all the way down the court to Asia Wilson, who's got great hands to turn and finish. Otherwise, right, she's getting up the floor to a wing streaking like Jackie Young, who's been great getting to her 2-dribble pull-up in transition. She also still has the ability to get to the rim and keep, like you see here. She is a true scorer at heart. We all know that, NCAA's leading scorer, so she can get to the bucket whenever she wants, but she's done a great job in transition, getting her teammates involved early before the defense can get set.
You find your spots easily than last season. What did you see about your offensive effort overall so far in the first 10 game stretch of the season?
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw a shot I didn't like. So I mean, I'm taking good ones though. Don't get me wrong.
This is a pretty funny clip of Kelsey kind of just, highlighting her scoring mentality that she's had all of her career. But you're seeing here, she is driving and dishing and creating three-point opportunities for her team at will. She's really been successful driving the baseline and creating opportunities on that corner drift pass or the 45 slot pass. A lot of NBA teams like to call this the blender, right? When you get defenders in help rotation, the baseline drive happens, the initial help comes over to stop the drive, Sophie Cunningham drops to try and take away that drift or that dump pass, and the 45 is actually wide open. Jackie Young was actually probably open for a layup there, but Plum ends up kicking out anyway to find an open shooter on the perimeter. Last clip of the baseline drive, after a little flex action, Plum comes off to her left hand, makes that bounce pass, Chelsea Gray with the extra pass, and that's just beautiful basketball. Regardless of if the ball goes in or not, that is a high quality possession, a high quality shot. And again, Becky Hammon in the last two clips doing a great job getting Kelsey Plum to her left hand to be able to deliver that pass because she is a lefty. All right, just to put some stats with the video now, this is how they've been able to generate more three-point attempts is by driving that baseline more often. You just saw the shot chart from 2021 where there were only 53 three-point attempts on the right side of the floor, 30 at the top, and 50 on the left side of the floor. And this is 11 games in 2021 compared to what you're looking at right now, which is 2022. And it has nearly double from every spot on the floor.
We're all trying to be super aggressive. I think that's a really tough scout to guard because it's like, who are you going to take away? If you're going to decide like they did tonight to blitz on the ball, then our post players are getting downhill, getting really good looks. As a team, you don't want anyone that's on the court not being super aggressive and not looking to score. Now it's easier to guard. So that mentality of like, there's not enough, that's a false mentality. I mean, just because someone's light's shining doesn't mean someone else's light can't shine. So I feel like in order to win in this league, you gotta have everyone firing on all cylinders. We understand that. And that's why everyone's coming to get a bucket.
This was one of my favorite lines listening to this press conference. It's so true. You cannot just be a one-man show. You've got to have multiple weapons in the WNBA in order to be a really tough team to beat on a nightly basis. And Becky Hammon helps her players. Even though the Vegas roster is super loaded with talent, she puts them in great positions to score, running some awesome sets, some really tricky stuff, hard to guard, right out of timeouts. You're going to see this one here. I call it fist out. The Warriors actually run it a little bit. I'm pretty sure she got this one from the NBA. Probably got a whole bunch of stuff from the NBA. But Kelsey Plum has basically gotten a shot every time that they've ran this set. Whether or not she's made it again, it's not about the result. It's about the quality of the look. And she gets a high quality shot almost every time they run this set. Basically, it's a little ball screen coming towards the exit screen. So, little ball screen at the top of the floor. Sometimes they'll run some false motion stuff before it just to kind of disguise the play a little bit. But it's a middle ball screen coming towards Kelsey Plum, who's coming off an exit screen out to the corner/wing area. It's really hard to guard because now Kelsey Plum's defender gets caught watching the ball and is often responsible for tagging that roll on the two side. So she gets caught, and by the time she looks back, Plum is already gone. Again, Becky Hammon has them get into this same action in a variety of ways. Here you're seeing it off a baseline out of bounds play, which is pretty clever, just to get the same look for Plum in that right corner. All right, another action that I commonly see the Aces running for Kelsey Plum is what we would call a reject action. Some people call it a crackback or a snapback because essentially the ball screen is set towards the baseline side, so a step-up angle. And as the baseline drive's happening, the initial ball screener is turning and setting a reject screen for the shooter to come back. So basically the ball handler's driving it baseline hard, selling drive the whole way, knowing that they're going to be jump stopping, pivoting and turning backwards to throw the ball back to the shooter. Again, it's another opportunity to get a great shooter looks while driving action is happening that's occupying the weak side. So a lot of defenders tend to turn their heads and lose sight of their player when the ball is going away from them. And here's just another example of Kelsey Plum being dynamic. You saw her score with the ball in her hands earlier. Now she's scoring and making plays for others without the ball. And that makes her even more lethal for the Las Vegas Aces. Okay, as we wrap up the breakdown, the last thing I'm going to hit on is her ability to get a bucket anytime. You heard it earlier, she's never seen a shot she doesn't like, and she means that because she's always looking to score, whether it's end of the shot clock, it's an ISO play, it's the end of the game. She wants it and she has confidence. Confidence comes from having go-to moves that you've practiced over and over again, and for Kelsey Plum, it is her signature crossover step back move. The way she drives the ball hard and then stops on a dime, snatches ankles from defenders whose momentum is carrying them forward and is not ready to stop that quickly. She had the crowd in awe on Friday night against the Sun when she hit one of her signature step backs right in front of Tom Brady sitting courtside. She had a nice laugh about it in the post-game press conference.
Tom Brady's coming to the game, and I was like, shut up. Like, no, he's not. Say less. I'm gonna give him something to remember from this game. And when I had that step back, I looked at him and I was like, yeah.
He should have barked.
Well, it's pretty easy to say that Kelsey Plum is off to an amazing start to the 2022-2023 WNBA season, leading the league in several categories. Without a doubt, she should be an all-star and in the running for multiple awards come the end of the season if she can keep this up. I'm excited to see where the Aces go from here. Can they keep running the table? Are other teams going to start to figure them out a little bit? Can they stay healthy? Those will be the big questions moving forward. But if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel for more. Going to be covering the WNBA as much as I possibly can throughout the rest of the season. So leave a comment down below of a different breakdown, different player, team, whatever you want to see in the future. I'll try to take those recommendations into consideration, but hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.